Yeah, Jay, but can I do an F test? Would that be possible? Sure. So, of course, the deal is this. You're saying, is there any difference between, for instance, the standard deviations of sparrows versus robins? I don't know. And, of course, there is or there isn't, right? Well, what are you going to do? Well, you got to run a test. So you're going to go out and sample some sparrows. I don't know. Let's sample 16 of them, sure. And we find that the standard deviation of the sparrows is 7. I don't know what, 7 ounces maybe? I have no idea. And let's sample 17 robins and 4.2. Interesting. Now, of course, we've watched the videos. You've seen how to do it by hand. But on the calculator, we're going to go into here. We're going to come down and we're going to find somewhere. Remember, that's not the same chi-square test. We want this guy right here. Boom. So we want stats. Now, it doesn't truly matter which one's which. However, and I strongly say this, however, I always put the bigger one on SX1. So 7 is bigger than 4.2. That's how I'm going to do it. I do that because if you're like, oh, I'm going to do it by hand and then I'm going to check myself on the calculator, it'll work, but what will end up happening is that you'll get a different F statistic and you're going to be all mad at yourself. The p-value will be 100% the same, but the F statistic will be different. Notice the p-value is 0.05 here, but the F is 2.77. So it's 0.0507. In this case, we just barely failed to reject because this is bigger than 0.05. However, watch Mr. Groom do it the other way around. And suppose I did flip it around. Now again, the p-value will be 100% the same. But the F statistic will come out to be different. Okay? Just so we're aware. P-value still 0.0507 yada yada yada. But the F statistic will be different. So if you're doing this at home by yourself and you're like, I just want to, oh, for gosh sakes. Here it is. If you're doing this at home, you're like, I'm going to test myself to see if I can get the right answer. If you do it this way, you will get the right answer, which we had a minute ago, 2.4 or whatever it was, whatever that F statistic was. And then you'll go on from there and do it like I showed you by hand. However, if you're like, oh, I'm going to do it this way. So you're going to put in 4.2 squared over 7 squared, you'll get this 0.36. This, if you put it in the calculator will tell you got a 0.36. And you'll be like, well, I did it by hand, I got 2.4. So that's why I always suggest that when you input it in the calculator, you always put the bigger SX as the SX1. Okay? Therefore, when you do it by hand and when you do it in the calculator, they'll agree with each other. F-wise, they'll agree p-value-wise regardless. But F-wise, they'll agree and it'll make you feel good about yourself. So that's what I would suggest.